Have you ever had the same argument with your partner again and again? The subject might change. One day it's money. Another day it's housework, affection, parenting, or how much time you're spending together. But somehow, the argument always seems to end in the same place. One person feels criticized. The other feels ignored. Someone becomes defensive, someone withdraws, and before long you're both wondering how a simple conversation became another emotional battle. What if the real problem isn't what you're arguing about? What if it's the pattern underneath it? Welcome back to GrowBooks, where we explore books that can help us think differently, grow personally, and build better lives. Today we're looking at Secure Love, Create a Relationship That Lasts a Lifetime by couples therapist Julie Manano. And if you've ever wondered why two people who genuinely love each other can repeatedly leave conversations feeling misunderstood and disconnected, this book offers an interesting explanation. Manano approaches relationships through attachment theory. Rather than simply asking whether a relationship looks healthy from the outside, she encourages us to consider something deeper. What does a secure relationship actually feel like? Do you feel heard? Can you reach for your partner when you're struggling? Can you disagree without feeling that the entire relationship is suddenly threatened? And when things go wrong, can you find your way back to each other? One of the strongest ideas in secure love is what Manano calls the negative cycle. Imagine one partner wants more connection and raises the issue. The other hears criticism and becomes defensive. That defensiveness makes the first partner feel even less understood, so they push harder. The second partner feels increasingly attacked and eventually withdraws. Now one person feels abandoned while the other feels they can't do anything right. Neither person necessarily wanted conflict. Both may actually have been trying to protect themselves, but together, they've created a pattern that keeps reinforcing itself. Manano's argument is that beneath many recurring fights are unmet attachment needs, things like wanting reassurance, emotional support, understanding, appreciation, or closeness. That's where this book becomes more useful than simply telling couples to communicate better. Because communicate better sounds easy until you're upset. When we feel threatened emotionally, many of us don't communicate from our most thoughtful selves. We protect ourselves. One person might criticize. Another becomes defensive. Someone pursues the conversation. Someone else shuts down. And these responses can trigger exactly the reaction we're afraid of. Secure Love encourages readers to become curious about those reactions instead. What am I protecting? What am I actually needing from my partner? And what might be happening underneath their reaction? The book also explores 4 attachment styles and includes exercises designed to help readers recognize how their own attachment patterns appear within relationships. Manano provides practical examples and suggested ways of approaching difficult conversations differently. Another idea I particularly like is the distinction between protective communication and vulnerable communication. Protective communication might sound like, "You never care about what I need," but underneath that accusation might be something much more vulnerable. "I've been feeling unimportant lately and I miss feeling close to you." Those two statements can create completely different conversations. Vulnerability doesn't mean accepting poor treatment or revealing everything you're feeling regardless of the circumstances. It's about becoming more aware of what's underneath your defensive reaction and, where appropriate, communicating that deeper feeling instead. Manano also makes an important point that changing behavior alone isn't always enough. You can learn better phrases. You can stop shouting. You can walk away before an argument becomes destructive. Those things can certainly help. But if neither partner understands why the same emotional reaction keeps appearing, the underlying pattern can remain. The book therefore combines practical behavioral changes with deeper examination of attachment, past experiences, and emotional needs. And there's an important reframe running through the book. Your partner isn't necessarily the enemy. The negative cycle is. I think that's one of the most valuable takeaways from Secure Love. Instead of asking, "Who's causing this?" you begin asking, "What keeps happening between us?" That doesn't excuse harmful behavior. And Manano doesn't argue that every relationship should be preserved regardless of circumstances. She acknowledges that genuine incompatibilities and wounds can exist. But for couples who care about each other and keep becoming trapped in the same frustrating patterns, changing the question can be powerful. So, is Secure Love worth reading? If you're interested in attachment theory, emotional connection, and understanding why relationship conflicts repeat themselves, I think there's a lot here to explore. It's especially suited to readers who don't simply want communication techniques, but want to understand what's happening beneath their communication. And that brings us to the end of this review. If you and your partner keep having different versions of the same argument, Secure Love may help you stop seeing each other as the problem and start recognizing the pattern that's keeping you disconnected. Thanks for watching GrowBooks. If you enjoyed this review, please give the video a like and subscribe for more books on relationships, personal growth, and building a better life. And don't forget to check the description below for helpful links. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.